Today I'm going to be changing spark plugs on my 2012 Honda Civic. It's got the 1.8. Some tools you're going to need. Spark plugs, obviously, and I just matched what was in the owner's manual. So grab your owner's manual and look it up. These ones were really expensive, 16 bucks a piece. I don't know why. I don't know why they need to be that, but whatever. Flat blade screwdriver, 5/8 spark plug socket on some extensions, and then a 10mm socket. I just use one extension, makes life easier. Okay, so first we got these two little fasteners here. You just turn them like a quarter turn. And then you lift off the engine cover. It's got little rubber grommets, so you gotta get it to pop. Get it to pop over here. Set that aside. And there's our 4 coil packs, and the spark plugs are underneath each one of those. Once you get the engine cover off, take some compressed air. Just blow out around all the spark plug holes. Coil packs. And then once we remove the coil packs, we'll blow it out again. Now we're going to loosen the 10mm bolts on the coil packs. I pre-loosened these, but they come off pretty easy. And then you'll just get on there, unthread it by hand, or whichever you prefer. I don't care what you do. I'm only going to show you one because it's the same. Take your bolt, put it where you won't lose it. I like to pop the coil pack up a little and then squeeze on the tab, wiggle that around, and pull your coil out. There's your spark plug, and I'm going to blow this out one more time. And it's going to be the same for the rest of them. Got all the coil packs out of there. This is a good time to do a little bit of inspection on your vehicle. You can see I got a little bit of weepage going on with my cam cover or valve cover. So I'm sure that that gasket's shot or going bad. But I'm not too worried about it right now because I'm probably going to adjust the valves this summer, and then I'll address that then. Also, you want to go ahead and inspect your coil packs, make sure they look good. These all look really good. They got a little bit of oil from that gasket that's starting to fail. Got all my spark plugs out. I checked the gap. From the factory, they were really close, so the spec that I found was 44 thousandths. I put a little bit of anti-seize compound on the threads. And then you're also going to want to take some dielectric grease and just put a little ball of it like right there where the spark plug will go. It'll make next time you change the spark plugs in another 100,000 miles, it'll make life a little easier. Back to the engine. I'm gonna loosen up the spark plugs. I blew out these holes one more time with compressed air, and I cracked all of them loose just to make sure they'd come out good, and they did. They loosened the first quarter turn. So they shouldn't be crazy tight or anything. If you're having issues and you don't feel comfortable, you might want to take it somewhere because it's easy to damage your aluminum head if something's seized and you don't use the right technique to get it out of there. Luckily, these all came out or loosened easily. So you just want to back that guy out. At some point, it'll get easy enough that you can just back it out by hand. I also recommend just doing one at a time. Take one out, put it in. Take the next one out, put it in. That way your engine's not just open, letting debris go in there and stuff. And there's our plug. Doesn't look too bad. And there's inside of your high horsepower Honda engine. Got my new spark plug pushed into my spark plug socket. And you just want to guide that in there. And definitely go in by hand, as many threads as you can. And these are long threads on this guy, so just keep going. It's pretty interesting. Okay, that seems like about all I can do by hand. Put my ratchet on there. I'm sure there's a torque spec, but I generally just go by feel on spark plugs. This, on the spark plug package, it says once it's seated, go 1/4 to 1/2 turn. So we're gonna go seated right there. There's a 1/4 turn. That's a 1/2 turn. Then you just repeat the process on each one at a time. Once you have all the spark plugs in and tightened to spec, you can pop your coil packs in. Just, you might have to wiggle it a little bit. I'm just going to pop those in, all of them, and then I'll put the bolts back in. Okay, don't forget to plug them in. I like to plug them in while they're still loose. Just makes it a little easier. Listen for the click. Make sure that they're latched. And then put your bolts back in. Start them by hand. And then just snug them up. Once you get all your coil pack bolts on there, coil should be fully seated. Then your last step here is just pop on this beautiful engine cover. You're gonna just line it up. It's got like a little deal there, and it pushes onto a grommet. There's one over here. Just kind of push that on, and then 1/4 turn. And you're done. Start it up, make sure nothing blows up, and then you should be good to go. An interesting side note, I took the old spark plug, one of the old spark plugs, I measured the gap, and it was identical to the brand new spark plug. So it didn't really lose any gap at all. That says a lot about these iridium plugs. There's 107,000 miles on these plugs. So, kind of impressive.